finger. That's the best pitch, split finger he's thrown all night. That's the only pitch that split that's made it over the plate in a good hitting area. Junior capitalized it, and the play's in front of him. And man, this brings the house down. Look at Vance Wilson helping him out with that.
Oh my goodness, everyone. It is 11:22 at night, and I am wide awake. The Kansas City Royals did it. They came back from a 7-0 deficit to start off the game, and they win 10-9. Oh, what a game. What a game, and everyone across the country echoing out of Kauffman Stadium left tonight saying, hey, 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 hey. The boys in blue start off the series with a win. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Welcome to the Royals Recap. My name is Jacob Milham. I'm one half of the Royals Rundown podcast. If you're listening to us for the first time, the folks that make this happen, it's over at Royals Review. Great content going up over there. Game threads, game recaps. It's anything you want Royals related is over there at royalsreview.com. Also check them out on social media. I don't even know where to start with this game. I don't want to start with the beginning because it was pretty damn bad. So let's start with the end. Let's start with the Seattle Mariners opting to walk the bases loaded, just not wanting to deal with Vinny Pasquantino or Salvador Perez in the slightest, and opting for Nelson Velasquez instead, who has had some late game heroics of his own this year. And guess what? He did it again tonight. His ground ball over to shortstop J.P. Crawford, it was hard hit enough. It caused enough issues for Crawford. He got the out at second, but man, oh man, the man known for his speed, Nelson Velasquez, beat out the throw at first, and that sealed the win. Once the Royals came back and tied the game 9-9, you knew how this game was going to end. There were two outcomes that you could see, okay? There were two possible outcomes there. But there was only one that you felt brewing. There was only one that the Royals fans in attendance made you think was even possible. But most importantly, there was only one outcome that the players made you believe in, and that was that they were going to leave Kauffman Stadium as winners. That's exactly what they did over the Seattle Mariners tonight. We'll talk about the bullpen. We'll talk about Daniel Lynch later on. Let's talk about this lineup, shall we? If you look at the runners in scoring position numbers, something that folks have cited all year long. Not great, but good. 4 for 10. They did all this damage on 10 hits, which, it's a good amount of hits. It is. But scoring 10 runs on 10 hits, that's a pretty good way to get it done. Even discounting the 2 intentional walks, the Royals walked 5 times tonight and only struck out 5 times tonight as a lineup. 11 different batters. No one batter had more than 1 strikeout. Who do you want to be the hero tonight? You heard Bobby Witt Jr.'s triple, the RBI that tied things up and put him in scoring position to earn that walk-off run. Let's talk about MJ Melendez. We've been dogging on him all year, and for good reason. But tonight, that man out there in left field showed up in every way, shape, and form he could. Whether it be in the field, making multiple highlight catches. He started off the game with an over-the-shoulder basket catch that I wouldn't have thought possible 1 calendar year ago. Then he keeps an extra base hit off the board, catching a ball up against the fence. And we've seen it all too many times this year. Too many Royals converging in the outfield, infielders coming into the grass, and an outfielder charging in. Well, guess what? It was Maikel Garcia and Bobby Witt who made way for MJ Melendez to make a diving catch. All these things. Not saying they were impossible in 2023, but they damn sure weren't probable. MJ Melendez delivered. How else do you deliver? Well, he had a home run in the fourth inning to really jumpstart this comeback. 4 runs for the Kansas City Royals in the fourth inning, 3 of them off of that home run. He also added another ribby later on in the night, giving him 4 total. He brought in 4 of the Kansas City's 10 runs. What a game from MJ Melendez. Maikel Garcia, he didn't reach base safely. All right, he had a tough one. He still got an RBI. Bobby Witt Jr., as you expect, your franchise star delivers when the team needs it the most. 3 hits tonight, scoring 2 runs with 1 ribby and only 1 strikeout. Vinny Pasquantino walking twice, including that intentional walk, having a hit of his own. Salvador Perez matches his walk total from 2023 on June 7th, 2024. With 2. Actually, let me back that up. He exceeded it after that intentional walk. He surpassed it. The captain leading by example. And after they intentionally walked him, he turned to that lineup, turned to Nelson Velasquez on deck, got him fired up. He wasn't all business trotting down to first base. He knew that the guy behind him was going to be the reason they win or lose. And guess what? He made sure that Nelson Velasquez and whoever else was going to come up behind him, he knew, hey, I'm going to go over here, be on first base and do my base running. But I believe in y'all. Let's get this done. That's exactly what they did. Let's keep on running down the lineup. I'm a little too jazzed. I'm getting lost. Nelson Velasquez scoring 2 runs on his own tonight, 1 hit, 2 RBIs from him, and a walk and a strikeout. Pretty good. We already talked about MJ. Hunter Renfroe, he extended his hitting streak tonight. Good for him. He is currently sitting at 7 games. All right, that's another outfielder that we've been bagging on. But him and Garrett Hampson, they've been quietly having a good few weeks. And we're not talking like, 3 or 4 games. Like they've been very solid later on in this season. Adam Frazier, he had a hit himself. Nick Lofton had a hit, scored a run, and even drew a walk on his own. Kyle Isbell, unfortunately, he didn't have a hit or nothing like that, but Garrett Hampson came up behind him in the 9 hole, scoring a run, having a hit, and only 1 strikeout of his own. Garrett Hampson, quietly on the year, now he is hitting .321. All right, I'm fairly certain that he does not meet the qualification criteria, but that would be second amongst all Kansas City Royals right now. Wow. Just amazing stuff. All right, let's talk about the bullpen, because the bullpen came in and there were multiple ways Q could take this. Q could take this 1 inning at a time and exhaust his bullpen to start off the series against the Seattle Mariners. He could make the mistake that the San Diego Padres made when they opened up the series last week against the Royals. Oh, we gotta, we gotta empty the clip. We gotta make sure that we get this one. We gotta put our best foot forward. And I think Q did it in a calculated fashion because the results are there. Let's look at this. Chris Stratton, 2 innings, 2 hits. He did have an earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. But after coming in relief of Daniel Lynch, that looked like a pretty good line. And he didn't allow that run in the first inning of his work. See, I have little qualms when a reliever is expected to go out there and get 6 outs instead of 3. I have little qualm when he goes out there and there's a blemish. There's a couple blemishes there. Will Klein, we saw it, looked great in the 7th. Really did. Looked sharp. Stuff was working. He wasn't getting the calls. It happens. Then he goes out there for another consecutive inning, the top of the 8th. And that was where some of the errors started showing up. All right. All in all, he ended the night. He didn't allow a run. He only allowed 2 hits. He did surrender 2 walks, unfortunately, and 1 strikeout. But he did his job. And then Nick Anderson, really finding the stuff that made him successful with the Tampa Bay Rays in 2020. You could squint and see it. I want to talk about it a little bit more after I do some research on my own. But Nick Anderson got his 3rd win on the year, striking out 2 Seattle Mariners batters in the top of the 9th, keeping the Kansas City Royals within striking distance. And that's all the bats needed from him. All right. You knew it was coming. You knew we had to talk about it. The tone that set this game was bad. It was really bad. Daniel Lynch IV put the Royals in a 7-0 hole before their first batter went to the plate. He did not earn a decision despite allowing a career-high tying 8 runs in 4 innings. Something he hasn't done since 2021. Just ugly stuff. It's the shortest start since 2022. He had a streak going of at least lasting 5 innings. A good metric for determining a starter's value. Didn't have it tonight. Walked 4 batters tonight. Hit 2 batters. And it was an ugly game. It really, really was. This comeback will turn the volume down on Daniel Lynch's performance, but it shouldn't make it be forgotten. Okay, he was the reason why the comeback needed to happen. Let's imagine, I don't know, let's say Cole Reagan's made the start tonight instead. Had a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs. You know, not stellar, but good. And let's say the lineup still had the same performance. Everything else is the same. I mean, a 10-3 win is pretty fun. But nothing screams Royals devil magic like coming back from that deficit, that 8-0 deficit in the 4th inning. The 8-run deficit marked Kansas City's largest comeback win since September 25th, 2022 versus, you guessed it, the Mariners, when the Royals overcame an 11-2 deficit and won 13-12, matching the largest comeback victory in franchise history. I really hope you are at Kauffman Stadium tonight. I really hope you are among the 25,178 that got to see the fireworks, not only because it was fireworks night, but because the Royals won. You saw the fireworks of this lineup. You saw some defensive gems in the field. And you saw a game that just makes you believe in the Kansas City Royals once again. And we've heard the line from Moneyball time and time again, but I'll say it again. How can you not be romantic about baseball? Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we got some happy Royals folks to hear from. We're going to hear from Bobby Witt Jr. on the field with Joel Goldberg. Plus, hopefully, we hear from manager Matt Quatraro as well. Stay tuned.
I could kind of hear you. Can't hear a whole lot down here. I said to Bobby, you want to catch your breath? He said, no, I'm good. That triple just happened. This all just happened. 8-0 to a walk-off win. How did you do it?
I don't know. What do y'all think? Pretty fun?
Anyway, here comes MJ with a mad dash. And for those of you that can't hear, MJ said, take it like a champ. And you did. I'll get back to the question that the fans were answering. Hold on, one more. That one he didn't see. Now you know what it feels like to be on the second end of the double. All right, just a little bit of adrenaline. They are all listening intently. How in the world did this team just come back down from 8-0?
That's just resiliency. Just the teams with. I can't even speak right now. I don't know. That was a lot of fun, but yeah, this team's amazing. We're fighting to the last out. Everyone just pulling on the same string. We're just having a blast, and we're just trying to bring back what they did a couple years ago. So the fans are showing out. We got to show out for them, and so yeah.
Here comes round 2 of the ovation. This feels like playoff baseball here in June. How does it feel to you?
I like it. Let's just make it to October now. So it's got to keep working day by day. All right, learn from this, enjoy this win, and then move on tomorrow.
I know you're day by day, at-bat by at-bat. You get up there in a big situation. I know you live for those moments. Were you able to slow it down? What's the thought process?
Yeah, just try to be where my feet are. Just trust my process. Like, these are the things I go home and dream about. And so you just want to be in this situation and try to make the most of it. And so just trying to be able to do my job, get to the next guy. Nelly did his job. And so everyone kept the line going. It was a lot of fun.
You know, at 8-0, this team has come back from enough deficits this year. I'm sure there was no doubt in there, but at what point do you start thinking, wait a minute, this thing really could happen?
We're never out of it. That's what's so fun about this team. We're just going to keep doing that. We're going to keep competing and having fun.
Last thing, there have been different stars every single night. Obviously, you have the big triple. In spite of him just drenching you, how about the performance tonight of MJ Melendez, the grind that he's had, home run 3, massive defensive plays, one right there behind you, too.
Yeah, unbelievable doing it out there in left field. Y'all don't see the work he's putting in, but he's doing it every single day, so it's a blast to see him keep working. And so, yeah, we're just going to keep rolling and keep having fun.
I got to let you go hang with your teammates. I assume you have some parting words?
Yeah, how about that? The boys are playing some ball, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to get down like that. You know, I think so many things happen. It's hard to sum it up quickly, but I mean, a huge part of that was Lynch being able to go through 4 innings. You know, I mean, just the fact that it was 8 runs, but you know, we're back in the game 8-4. If not, we're going to be using a lot of different guys to get through. You know, if he comes out in the first or second, even the third, you know, it's going to be a tough road to hoe there. So that was a big part of it. Then just chipping away. You know, MJ had the big 3-run homer, but you know, the defensive plays that he made to keep us where we were, that was incredible. And then, you know, later in the game, you just never know. You just got to get on base. You know, the Renfroe had the 2 RBI hit. Lofton keeps the inning going. You just keep tacking pitches on those guys, and you just don't know. And Lofton leads off with the walk in the 9th, and then we know what transpired after that. But Will Klein getting the double play ball, and then going back out, they had traffic the next inning, but getting out of it with a 0. And Nick Anderson, that was one of the best innings he's had all year, I think. 2 punch outs, velo was up, carry was up. So you just got to keep chipping away. That's why you play every out.
Is coming back like this? I mean, obviously you said you don't want to be in a deficit that large, but this team being able to come back, is that becoming
It certainly seems like it. I mean, if you're going to be down, you want to be down early, right? So you got all 9 innings to work with, but nobody wants to come back from that. But one of these guys said it in the spring. It was a spring training game, but the bigger you're down, the better the story is when you come back. And it's just they've kind of embodied that. We'd rather play from in front, though.
What did you think of just MJ Melendez's overall game today? Great plays in the outfield and the 3-run homer that he hit as well.
Yeah, and he had the RBI ground out against the lefty. He had the walk against Snyder. He had really good at-bats throughout the night. The plays speak for themselves. I mean, the first play of the game, you got to be ready. Who knows if that's a double? Who knows what else happens in that inning? Gets up against the wall, and I don't know if that ball was going out or not, but up against the wall to make a play. The diving play certainly is, scary to all of us when he and Bobby are heading for each other. But, and then those at-bats in the 9th inning, I know it's not MJ, but those at-bats against Stanek throwing 100 miles an hour, those are incredibly competitive at-bats.
What's it like in the dugout as that game progresses, especially in that 9th inning?
Yeah, they all believed we could do it. I mean, coming in, even after we went 1, 2, 3 in the 8th, Salvi was yelling, "We'll get him in the 9th. We'll get him in the 9th." I mean, they believe it, and the walk starts it. We've seen that hurt us at times, and you just keep chipping away. The Hampson at bat, we would have had a decision to make there. If it's first and second, do you bunt? Then do they walk Bobby? Who knows? But Bobby getting to third there was absolutely enormous. I mean, as soon as that ball left the bat, I'm like, that's a triple. There's no way he's going to stop.
All right, y'all. Thanks for sticking with me for a longer iteration of the Royals recap. A lot of great stuff to talk about in Friday night's win, but I would be remiss if we did not talk about y'all's Spotify Q&A responses. So if you're listening to us on Apple or any other platform, we greatly appreciate the support. But the thing is, the best place to listen to us is on Spotify, because you have access to our polls and our questions and answers over there. And if you respond to the question on the episode, I'd read your response in the following episode. That's how it goes. So on the June 6th Royals recap, I asked y'all, what'd you think about this game? Ginger620 says, much, much better. Good to get a win on the road again. Fistifer1775 says, MJ assaulted home like a... I like it. Like one India Delta assaulted the beaches at Normandy. Then Mine the Mooses says, was afraid for a while that we were gonna lament all the stranded base runners early, but the bullpen locked it down and the offense got the job done in the end. Nice win. And all that, I do have one more thing to say before we get on out of here. Go back and listen to the June 6th Royals recap. So that was a great win from the Royals. Leaving Cleveland, you have a 2-game set because of the rain canceling out the Wednesday game. Made things a little weird, but it put a lot of pressure on the Royals that they really needed to leave that Guardians series with at least one win. Split it, you come back to them later. And they did. But if you think on this last week of Royals baseball, you can sum it all up to this. These guys, it's not the other team that's beating them. It is themselves. Think about this last calendar week of games. Okay, the boys in blue, they're not getting overwhelmed like we've seen time and time again since the World Series championship squad, since that core went away. And this team struggled to find its identity and find its soul and find its fight. And we're seeing that in 2024. We can talk about the rotation. We can talk about the talent. Talk about the production all we want. But, you know, every player in Major League Baseball is pretty damn talented. What makes the winners different from the losers, though, is their mindset, their fight, and their drive. And while the Chicago White Sox are celebrating ending a 14-game losing streak, the Royals are here within striking distance of the AL Central, holding a commanding wild card lead, and, well, owning the Mariners. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on tonight's Royals Recap. Make sure to follow us on social media if you're not already. Our links are down in the podcast description below. But most importantly, go support the work that goes on over at Royals Review. That's the best way to keep the podcast going, plus keeping their great work alive over there. My name is Jacob Milham. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And until next time, go Royals!